Breaking news. The Baltimore Ravens are flying high, my friends. We have some important things to talk about here today, and I can't help but tell you that I'm still in awe of the win against the Bucs. If you're also happy about Monday's big win, hit the like button. And, if possible, comment something like, Lamar Jackson is a phenomenon. This guy simply dominates everything. Lamar Jackson is not only the best quarterback in the league right now, he's the best player, period. You heard me right. Lamar Jackson, the last pick in the first round of the 2018 draft, outplayed Baker Mayfield, the first pick in the same draft class. This game was special, and there's a lot to unpack. Let's start with the Ravens offense. Now, I know we all got a little nervous when the first drive started out ugly. Lamar Jackson was picked off not once but twice on that opening drive, something that has never happened in his career. But here's the thing. Lamar didn't let that stat stop him. He threw 5 touchdowns, folks. 5. 2 of them went to Mark Andrews, who looks like he's back to full form. Andrews was all over the end zone like he owned the place. Then, Justice Hill stepped in, continuing to be Mr. Reliable. Sure, Lamar ran for a touchdown that was called back for holding, but did that stop this team? Absolutely not. Lamar just threw the ball, found Hill on a screen, and boom, touchdown. Let's not forget Rashad Bateman either. His chemistry with Lamar is improving every week. Remember that big off-script play where Lamar ran, pointed to Bateman to go deep, and they connected for a big gain? That's the kind of magic we've been waiting to see from this duo. And Bateman wasn't done. He doubled down on a 51-yard touchdown that was pure beauty. This is the Bateman we've been waiting for, and he's just getting started. Now, let's talk about Derrick Henry. Man, he started slow, and there were moments where you could tell he was frustrated. But when the Ravens kept him, he delivered. He nearly broke away for a 94-yard touchdown, but even though he was caught, he still finished the game with 169 rushing yards. I mean, without that big play, he still would have had a solid game, but that 81-yard run? Chef's kiss. It's what the Ravens offense needed to keep the Bucs on their toes. And don't forget, we still have Keaton Mitchell on the way, so this backfield is about to get even more dangerous. On the defensive side, it was a roller coaster, as usual. We started off giving up an easy touchdown to Mike Evans, and that has been an issue for this defense. Guys getting wide open, especially the running backs. It's happening every game, and it's something the Ravens have to clean up if they want to be a true Super Bowl contender. The defense went on a dominant run, shutting down the Bucs, but then they fell apart late in the game. We even gave up 2 onside kicks. That's unacceptable. And the defense needs to tighten up. Marlon Humphrey was doing his thing with 2 interceptions, but unfortunately he went down after that second pick. Hopefully it's not too serious because we'll need him as the season goes on. The defense is clearly still adjusting to new coordinator Zach Orr. Now, I said before the season started, we need to give Zach Orr 6 or 7 games to really see what he's made of. We're there now, and I think it's safe to say there are still a lot of areas for improvement. The pass rush didn't get to Baker Mayfield as much as we needed, and that's something that has to change if we want to win games more convincingly. Aired a lot of debate about Lamar, right?
On special teams, shout out to Justin Tucker for hitting from beyond 50 yards. That's the Justin Tucker we know and love. He's been clutch, and it's good to see him back in top form. Justice Hill also had a big impact on special teams, with a great kick return that gave us good field position. At the end of the day, this Ravens team is legit. They can win in so many different ways. Whether it's Lamar airing it out, Derrick Henry bulldozing his way through defenders, or Mark Andrews being a red zone monster. But there's still work to do. The defense needs to step up, and the offense needs to stay consistent. If they do, this team has a real shot at making a deep playoff run. Now, Ravens flock, I want to hear from you. What do you think about Lamar Jackson's performance? How do you feel about Derrick Henry finally breaking out? And do you think the defense can fix these coverage issues? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. You've got to hear this. You know we love our legends here in Baltimore. But what if I told you that no one, and I mean no one, loves Ed Reed more than Bill Belichick? I know, I know, you're probably thinking, come on, nobody loves Ed more than us Ravens fans, right? But trust me, when it comes to sheer admiration for Reed, not even the likes of Ozzie Newsome, Brian Billick, or even John Harbaugh can top what Belichick feels for the Hall of Fame safety. Let's take it back to 2009. Ed Reed was 7 years deep into his legendary career. By that point, Belichick had already made up his mind that Reed wasn't just the best free safety of his generation. He was the best free safety to ever play the game. That's high praise coming from a guy who's seen some of the greatest defensive players in NFL history. And he didn't keep that to himself. During Week 4 of the 2009 season, Belichick straight up told Reed how he felt. "Stay out of our way today," Belichick said. "You're the best free safety that's ever played this game. You're amazing. That play you made on that out cut last week, middle of the field, making a play on an out cut, give me a break, you're like in the Pro Bowl." Can you imagine hearing something like that from one of the most respected coaches in NFL history? But Belichick's admiration didn't stop there. One of the most well-known clips of Belichick talking about Reed is his breakdown of that iconic interception Reed made against none other than Peyton Manning. You all remember the one. Reed lined up on the weak side of the formation, made it look like he was going to play center field, and as soon as the ball was snapped, he sprinted to the middle like he was about to cover that deep route. Manning saw it, thought he'd outsmarted Reed, and threw back to his ex-receiver. But here's where the magic happened. Reed knew exactly what was going to happen. He didn't even look at Manning, just spun on a dime, sprinted to the sideline, and picked that ball off like he was reading the future. Belichick called that one of the greatest plays he'd ever seen. And keep in mind, this is a guy who's coached in more Super Bowls than most of us have fingers. He saw Reed do things on the field that no one else could. But that's just Ed Reed, right? The man was a one-man wrecking crew who made quarterbacks second-guess themselves every time they threw the ball. And just recently on Monday, while appearing on the Manning cast with Peyton and Eli, Belichick was asked about Reed again. You could see his eyes light up when Peyton asked, "What made Reed so special in your eyes?" And Belichick, in classic Belichick fashion, was like, "Oh man, everything. Where do you even start with Ed Reed, right?" Belichick went on to break down what made Reed a nightmare for opposing offenses. Run support? Check. Man-to-man coverage? Check. Blitzing? Absolutely. But where Reed really shined was in his ability to disguise what he was doing. He was a master at making it look like he was doing one thing and then completely flipping the script. That's what made him so dangerous. And don't even get Belichick started on Reed's punt-blocking abilities. Belichick said that whenever they played against Reed, they had an entirely different punt protection scheme. Just to account for Reed, they doubled him, 2 guys on Reed every single punt because he was that much of a threat. And according to Belichick, Reed is the only player in his entire career that he ever had to do that for. Think about that for a second. The only one. So, there you have it, Ravens fans. Even one of the greatest football minds in history couldn't help but gush over Ed Reed. And who can blame him? Reed was a once-in-a-lifetime player who changed the way the safety position was played. But now I want to hear from you. How do you feel about Bill Belichick's admiration for our guy? Do you think he's right about Reed being the best free safety of all time? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and let's go Ravens!